The street fighter doesn't learn to fight. He learns what works. His education is written in broken bottles and cracked concrete, not polished dojo floors. Today, you learn the software that makes him dangerous. You need to understand where the street fighter comes from. He is forged in one of three environments. The survivalist grows up where violence is currency: gang territories, prison yards, impoverished neighborhoods. He fights with the desperation of a cornered animal because he often is one. The reputation builder uses violence as social capital. He fights to create a buffer of fear that protects him. His goal is a quick, brutal knockout that builds his brand. The thrill seeker chases the adrenaline rush. He has immense pain tolerance from constant scrapes and uses the environment, bar stools, pool cues, ashtrays as weapons. Each crucible shapes a different software, but all share one thing. They learn through empirical, brutal experience, not theory. Here is the first kernel of the street fighter's operating system. He evaluates every movement on a simple binary. Did it help me hurt him or stop him from hurting me? Aesthetic value is 0. Efficiency is everything. A thumb in the eye is worth 10 spinning back kicks. You need to adopt this mindset when you train for self-defense. Stop worrying about how a technique looks. Start asking if it works under pressure. The street fighter has no loyalty to a style. He takes what works from boxing, wrestling, brawling, and dirty tactics. Your goal is functional dominance, not technical expression. If a technique fails, you discard it. You do not critique it. You eliminate it. That is how you build a combative system that survives contact with the enemy. The martial artist's goal is often to fight well. The street fighter's goal is to end the confrontation on his terms as fast as possible. Victory means walking away while the other person cannot or will not continue. This justifies preemptive strikes, cheap shots, using weapons, and fighting dirty. You need to understand that the concept of a fair fight is a luxury for people who can afford to lose. In a real threat, you do not have that luxury. Your software must prioritize ending the threat over playing by rules. You strike first because hesitation can mean severe injury or death. You do not wait for the attacker to make the first move. You take control of the timeline. You dictate when the fight starts and when it ends. The street fighter does not see a flat, ring-like plane. He reads the terrain instinctively. The wall is not a boundary. It is a tool to trap an opponent against. The curb is a weapon to trip over. The bottle on the ground is a resource. You need to train your spatial awareness to include exit routes, potential weapons, and unseen threats. You fight in 360 degrees, not in a forward-facing stance. Your peripheral vision must track the opponent's friends. Your feet must find stable ground. Your hands must identify objects you can use. This is not mystical awareness. It is a learned skill. You practice it every time you walk into a room. You note the exits. You scan for weapons. You identify cover. You make it automatic. Martial artists train to control adrenaline dump. The seasoned street fighter rides it like a wave. He does not try to perform fine motor techniques. He embraces the tunnel vision and time distortion, using them to hyper-focus on his target. You need to understand that your software must run on gross motor programs. These programs function perfectly under adrenaline. Big swings, hard pushes, crushing weight. You do not try to execute a perfect armbar. You smash the head into the pavement. You drive the knee into the ribs. You use the adrenal state as fuel, not as something to fight against. Train your combatives under stress. Get your heart rate up. Simulate the chaos. Your body will adapt. Your software will become robust. This is where most traditional martial artists lose before they start. The street fighter does not assume a classical stance that signals "I am ready to fight." He uses deceptive posture. Hands in pockets, a slouch, a false turn away. You need to learn this protocol. You do not telegraph your intent. You look passive, even vulnerable. Then you explode. The moment you decide to act, you commit fully. You do not hesitate. You do not check if the opponent is ready. You strike first, strike hard, and keep striking until the threat is neutralized. Your pre-fight software must include reading the opponent's tells. The shift of weight, the glance at your chin, the clenching of fists. You see these cues and you act before the opponent completes his thought. When the street fighter activates, he runs a predictable algorithm. He rushes in, closes the distance, and overwhelms you with volume and power. He does not give you time to think. You need to train this protocol for your own defense. Step 1. Close the distance. Step 2. Attack the center line. Step 3. Keep attacking until the opponent stops moving. You do not back off to admire your work. You do not check if he is done. You assume he is still a threat until you have complete control. This is not about technique. It is about intent. You train with full commitment. You practice the rush. You practice the overwhelming barrage. You make it a reflex. When the threat appears, your body executes the protocol without thought. You now understand the Street Fighter's software. Train these kernels. Make them yours. Violence is a first language. Learn to speak it fluently.